right, let's move on to a game where we'll disagree on. Iowa State at TCU. TCU is a 10 and a half point home favorite here against Iowa State. This game is at 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox on Friday. TCU trying to keep their perfect season alive. And look, I took the 10 and a half here, and again, with just the things we talked about last week, there are the exhaustion factor. They're playing again. They still haven't had a break. The injuries. They lost their 3 most important players on offense to injury last week. Duggan is banged up. He's been getting hit every week. We'll see who's healthy enough to play. But also just from a pure, and then from a number standpoint, I think it's pretty obvious I've been lower on TCU than a lot of people. TCU has won 8 of 9. Only one of those games has come by more than 10 points. That's when Davis Pumpkin Bevel had to come in at quarterback for Oklahoma, and then they had to go to Wildcat. They have not won a game by more than 10 points since beating Tarleton State like in the September 2nd. All of their games are decided by 1 possession to 10. That is it. Meanwhile, Iowa State, who right now I have with the 7th best defense, opponent adjusted in the country, here's what they've lost. They lost by 6 to Oklahoma State, 4 to Texas Tech. And most of the time, they are outgaining, higher yards per play in all these games. They just shoot themselves in the foot. They have awful special teams, by the way. They will not execute in the red zone. But here are their losses. They lost by 4 to Texas Tech, 6 to Oklahoma State. They lost by 3 at Texas. They lost by 1 to Kansas State, 3 to Kansas, 7 to Baylor. They beat Iowa by 3. This team is in every game. They cannot get it done. And by the way, they lost their bowl eligibility last week. You would think, oh, maybe they're flat. I think that works in their favor here. Matt Campbell, who's elite, most profitable against the spread coach in college football in the past 20 years, is a double-digit dog. But I think that works in their favor. This is their Super Bowl now. There's no bowl game. There's no postseason. TCU banged up on offense. I think this stays within 1 possession again. But I know you laid it, so make a case for your baby horned frogs.
No, the power rating is, the number's too low. The number should be a little bit higher, which is why I hit it from the start. But, and of course, there's a big worry here. Xavier Hutchinson absolutely torched this TCU team in a blowout victory last year. But now there's Travius Hodges-Tomlinson. He's going to draw Hutchinson duties. And, there's a big height advantage there for Hutchinson. But Hodges-Tomlinson has just been a force. He's been targeted 18 times in the last 3 games, and he's allowed just 5 catches. And Iowa State has shut down the explosive play against everyone. The best rank in the nation against ground explosives, and they're 12th in expected points against the pass. So TCU has got to do their best to stay in standard downs and moving the chains, which is really kind of unfamiliar territory for them. They're more of an explosive team, but my problem is Iowa State scoring. Now, unless this game finishes like 17-7, I could be wrong, but Iowa State just doesn't score any points. They haven't generated more than 14 points in recent games against Texas Tech, Oak State, Oklahoma. This is I just think this is going to be a tough cover for Iowa State in the 4th quarter. I get it. I agree that all those things are going to last, but TCU just has this way of wearing on you until you let your guard down, West Virginia, and then they, drop a dime on you with 1 second left on the clock to give a cover. I think the power rating is wrong. I think the number is wrong. My power rating is higher. And I'm not sure Iowa State can play a full 4 quarters. And I don't think they score enough. You just can't come into this game and not be able to score, which they don't do.
Yeah, but I don't know. You said, well, that's 17-7. Like, that's how all their games have. They lost 10-9 to Kansas State. And I think that this will be an easy cover if TCU has all their guys out. Like, Quentin Johnson arguably is the best receiver in the country. He left last week's game, didn't return, another ankle injury. They were without their slot receiver, and then they were without Keandre Miller. He got hurt and never came back. He's rushed for 1,200 yards. You take those 3 guys out of the offense, this is not the Baylor defense. This is a top 10 defense nationally. And we'll see if TCU just they won another game on the last play. They've played like 10 weeks in a row, all these huge games. Can they get up again? We'll see. This is Iowa State Super Bowl. Should be an interesting one.